the stillness of night, when the world holds its breath, you step into a sanctuary of quiet. The air is cool and velvet with darkness. Stars shimmer overhead as gentle moonlight touches the land. In this hush, every sound is soft. Your own heartbeat, the faint whisper of a breeze, the distant rhythm of sleeping earth. All of life seems to pause. Here in this sacred silence, a hidden power awakens. Perhaps you are not drawn to these words by accident. There is a quiet voice within you that has guided you here, a whisper that knows the value of silence. The principles of silent abundance have been waiting patiently until you were ready to receive them. In a noisy world overflowing with chatter and clamour, you have found your way to a gentle path, one where wealth blooms in stillness and dreams grow in the dark soil of solitude. In this silent sanctuary, your intentions are protected from doubt, untouched by outside energies. Here, in the quiet, you will unlock the treasures that noise has long drowned out. Allow yourself to get comfortable in this moment. Take a slow, gentle breath, and as you exhale, release anything you're holding onto. Notice your forehead smoothing, your eyelids soft and heavy. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears, relieving the weight they've carried. Unclench your jaw, relax your tongue. Feel a warm ease traveling down your neck into your chest. With each natural breath, your ribs expand softly, then let go, and your belly loosens. Allow that warmth to flow through your arms, down to your hands and fingertips, releasing any lingering tension. Your legs, too, grow heavy and calm, sinking into the surface beneath you. From the crown of your head to the tips of your toes, a wave of tranquility is washing over you, coaxing every muscle into rest. Here, in this state of ease, you are receptive and safe. You are drifting gently, deeper into comfort. Let me count down slowly now, and with each number, feel yourself sink even more into tranquility. 5. A wave of calm travels through you. 4. Your mind is quieting, a soft darkness like a starry night sky opening within. 3. Any remaining tension melts away, evaporating like morning dew. 2. A profound peace blankets you, warm and protective. 1. You've arrived at a deep, restful state of being, open and attuned. Notice how rich this quiet moment truly is. The subtle glow behind your closed eyelids, the soft murmur of your breathing, the warmth of life flowing through your body. Without a word uttered, so much is happening within and around you. This is the first lesson of silent abundance, that silence is not empty at all. It is full of promise, full of life, full of unspoken creation. As you listen to the silence, you begin to sense the stirrings of something profound. It is as though your soul recognizes this stillness as home. A gentle excitement may flutter in your chest, the quiet thrill of possibility. Now, you embark on a journey into this hush, exploring how silence can become an ally in manifesting the life you desire. There will be stories whispered, images painted in words, and wisdom shared in soft tones. All of it is meant to soothe you into alignment with a truth often forgotten, that your inner quiet holds the key to boundless abundance. Imagine each moment of silence as a loving guardian. When you refrain from speaking of your dreams to those who cannot understand, silence wraps around them like a protective cloak. When you sit alone with your hopes, not seeking validation from anyone else, silence becomes rich soil where those hopes can take root and flourish. In the coming chapters, we will wander through lush inner gardens and sacred spaces of the heart. We will discover how to plant seeds of intention in the fertile ground of solitude, how to nurture them with gratitude, and how to shield them from the harsh winds of outside doubt. This journey is not a rigid set of rules, but a gentle exploration. You may find yourself drifting in and out of imagery, perhaps one moment resting in an ancient temple of quiet, the next under a tree that silently grows riches in its branches. Let your imagination flow with these words. There's no right or wrong way to receive this wisdom. Simply let it wash over you like a calming tide. Trust that some part of you, maybe a deep, wise part that has always known, is listening closely. We begin our voyage into silent abundance with the foundational truths, the core principles that underlie all silent creation. These are the pillars of our quiet art, principles of sacred silence, solitude, and energetic protection. Like the strong, silent roots of a great oak tree, they will support everything that follows. When these roots are deep and nurtured, the tree of your life can grow high and prosperous without faltering in the storms of outside noise. So let us gently step into the silence within and uncover the first seeds of wisdom waiting there. Part 1. Core Principles. Sacred Silence. In the beginning, there is silence, not an empty silence, but a living, sacred silence that cradles every possibility. Think of the quiet before creation, the deep stillness that existed before the first heartbeat, the first word, the first ray of light. In that vast quiet, all of existence was held as a promise. So it is with the silence you cultivate now. It is pregnant with every dream you will ever have. When you sit in true silence, you are not doing nothing. You are tuning into the original language of the universe. In this hush, you can hear the subtle voice of your own soul and the guidance of the divine whispering to you. Every great spiritual tradition recognizes the power of silence. It is in silence that prophets received wisdom, that sages attained enlightenment, that creators found inspiration. In ancient monasteries, monks observe a great silence each night. Picture one such monk walking slowly through stone corridors by candlelight. He does not speak. None of his brothers do. The only sounds are the soft echo of footsteps and perhaps an owl hooting outside. In that hush, the monk feels the presence of the divine as a tangible warmth in his chest. He believes that the divine speaks loudest when the world is quiet, and in this sacred mute hour, he listens with his soul. In remote deserts and mountain caves, another seeker might sit cross-legged under the stars for years in wordless meditation, listening to the heartbeat of the earth. They knew, as you are learning, that your silence is sacred because it connects you to the source of all abundance. It is holy ground where the noise of fear and limitation cannot intrude. In this very moment, feel the sacred silence surrounding you. Between my words, there is a quiet space. Sink into that space. Notice how even your breath and heartbeat form a gentle music in the silence. The longer you sit with it, the more alive the silence becomes. You may sense a presence in it, a soft humming of existence without speech. This is the voice of the quiet source, reassuring you that much is happening beneath the surface. Embrace this peace for a few heartbeats before we continue, letting the silence itself speak to you. Energy protection. In this sacred silence, notice how your energy begins to gather inward, without words to scatter your thoughts, without gossip or complaint or analysis to send your power outward. You become like a calm lake, collecting the pure rain of life. This is the essence of energy protection through silence. When you hold your tongue about your deepest desires, you seal their energy within the vessel of your being. No outside opinions leak in. No doubts from others dilute your vision. Your intention becomes a still pool, undisturbed by the winds of the world. Imagine it. Each time you choose to keep a dream to yourself, it is as if you draw a circle of light around it. Inside that circle, your dream is safe, warm in itself on the hearth of your heart's fire. Outside the circle, the world may buzz with noise, skepticism, or jealousy, but it cannot penetrate your quiet sanctuary. You are practicing spiritual stealth, guarding the sanctity of your aspirations. This is not secrecy born of fear. It is protection born of love. You tend to your dream tenderly, shielding it from harm until it is strong enough to stand on its own. Think of how an oyster, nestled in the dark ocean bed, quietly coats a tiny grain of sand day by day until it becomes a pearl. It never shows the world its work in progress. Only when the pearl is complete does the shell open. So too do you covertly transform your hopes into gems, revealing them only when they are whole. Now consider the art of manifestation in solitude. Solitude is a gift, a profound ally on this path. When you are alone, truly alone with your intention, you amplify its power. In the company of only your own spirit, your creative force doesn't need to strain above the din of conversation or the influence of other minds. Solitude is the fertile ground where your manifestations sprout unseen, like seeds germinating in the darkness beneath soil. A seed does not need an audience to crack open and grow. In fact, it does its miraculous work hidden away, in silence, underground. So do your dreams grow best when they are kept in the soft darkness of solitude, nourished by your faith and untouched by external doubt. Psychological research echoes this. Announcing our intentions can give us a premature sense of completeness, reducing the drive to actually accomplish them. Reddit.com. As you sit quietly, perhaps in the soft light of dawn or the gentle dark of evening, envision what you desire most. Feel it as a delicate seed in your hands. Then, in the silence of your mind, plant that seed deep within your consciousness. Cover it with the rich soil of belief. Each moment you spend in solitude with this vision is like watering that seed with pure intention. No one else needs to know what you have planted. It is yours to tend. And in the sacred aloneness of that act, you align with the creative energies of the universe that always work quietly before any grand unveiling. It has been proven by studies that telling others your goals actively hinders you. Sharing too soon can sap your motivation. Reddit.com. To support this solitary manifesting, you create private sanctuaries for yourself, both in the world and within your heart. Think of a physical space where you feel utterly safe and peaceful. It might be a corner of your room with soft cushions and a candle, a spot under a favourite tree, or even a chair by a window where the morning light falls just right. This place is yours, consecrated by your presence and intention. Over time, as you repeatedly retreat here to think, pray, visualize, or simply breathe, it becomes charged with your energy. The air in this space almost hums with tranquility when you enter. It recognizes you, and you recognize it. Just stepping into your private sanctuary can bring immediate calm, like a sigh of relief. Here, in this personal haven, the world's chaos cannot easily find you. It's as though the walls themselves know to keep out the clamour. In your private sanctuary, you are free to be exactly who you are, to feel what you feel, to dream what you dream, with no one watching and no one judging. This physical sacred space is a mirror to the inner sanctuary you are also building, a quiet chamber in your heart where you can retreat at any time, even amidst a crowd, and find peace. These private sanctuaries are examples of the sacred spaces in your life. A sacred space can be anywhere, as long as it is imbued with intention and reverence. It might be as vast as a silent forest at dawn, or as small as the journal in which you write your secret hopes. What makes it sacred is the sanctity you bring to it. When you approach a space or a moment with gentle respect and quiet focus, you transform it into a temple for your spirit. Consider how a simple morning routine can become a sacred ritual. The act of making tea in silence, cradling the warm cup in your hands while gazing out at the new day, can be a holy communion with life. Or consider the sanctuary of night, when the world sleeps. Your bed, draped in darkness, can become a womb of renewal where you visualize the coming victories before you drift into dreams. Every such environment that supports and protects your quiet growth is a sacred space. And you guard these spaces as part of your practice. You might keep certain things private. Perhaps you don't share the details of your meditation corner with everyone, or you keep your journal hidden. This isn't because these things are shameful or trivial, quite the opposite. It's because they are precious, and like anything precious, they thrive behind the gentle veil of privacy. By embracing sacred silence, protecting your energy, practicing manifestation in solitude, and cultivating private sanctuaries, you are laying the foundation for silent abundance. Before we move on, take a quiet moment to absorb these foundational truths. Sacred silence surrounds you, protecting and empowering you. In solitude, your dreams take root. Within your private sanctuary, your spirit finds refuge and strength. Feel these principles settling in you like stones in a strong foundation. They will support everything that comes next. Part 2. Manifestation practices. With a strong foundation of silence and sanctuary, you can now engage in the gentle arts of manifestation. These are quiet practices, subtle yet powerful ways to shape reality without disturbing the peace you've cultivated. Think of them as rituals of creation performed behind closed doors, known only to you and the universe. With each practice, you honor the principle that true magic doesn't need an audience. A seed sprouts under the soil. A prayer is whispered in a cathedral's silence, and your dreams too shall be woven in that same hushed enchantment. Let us explore these practices of silent abundance, holding your intentions in secret, expressing gratitude as sacred ceremony, and keeping your growing wealth in humble shadow. Silent intention vault. Every dream begins as an intention, a spark in the mind, a hope in the heart. In the spirit of silent abundance, you give that spark a safe, secret home. Imagine a vault deep within you, an ancient, beautifully ornate chest tucked away in a candlelit chamber of your soul. This is your intention vault. Whenever a new deep desire crystallizes within you, you come to this secret place in your imagination. Gently, you place the intention into the vault, like a precious scroll or a jewel, and close the heavy door. Feel the satisfying click of the lock. Only you hold the key. In your daily life, you might symbolize this practice by writing your goal on paper and tucking it in a special box or an envelope hidden in a drawer. A physical echo of your inner vault. Once the intention is secured, you do not need to show it to anyone. You do not seek anyone's approval of it. You simply know that it is safe and alive, growing stronger in the protected silence. Like a treasure buried not to be lost but to be incubated, your intention stays warm and undisturbed in the vault of your being. There is great power in this deliberate secrecy. By keeping your intention between you and the divine, or the universe, or your higher self, you avoid the early release of energy that comes from talking about it too soon. Think of how sometimes speaking of a plan can make us feel as though we've already achieved something. The praise or attention we get can prematurely satisfy us, or the skepticism we encounter can deflate us. Psychological research confirms this dynamic. Announcing our intentions can give us a premature sense of completeness, sapping the drive to actually accomplish them. Reddit.com. The silent intention vault prevents that leakage of force. It keeps your motivation sealed tight. Whenever you feel the urge to announce your plans or tell someone what you're working toward, remember the vault and the promise you made to yourself to guard this dream. Smile softly, knowing that you hold a lovely secret. Return your focus inward, where your intention lives. Visualize it glowing quietly in its protected space. Each day, you can visit this vault in meditation or prayer and check on your treasure. You might whisper an affirmation to it, a private encouragement, then close the door again and carry on with confidence. Trust that what you have placed in the vault will, in its own time, emerge into the world fully formed, like a butterfly emerging in silence from a cocoon. Think now of one heartfelt desire you carry. In your mind's eye, form it into a clear intention, a simple phrase or image that captures what you want. Visualize yourself walking down a tranquil hallway and opening a heavy wooden door within. Inside is a small vault or chest adorned with symbols meaningful to you. Gently place your intention inside this vault, as a glowing orb of light or a folded note, and close the door. Lock it with an ornate key that you tuck safely into your pocket. How does it feel to give your dream this secret home? Perhaps you sense relief, as if a precious burden is finally secure. Trust that in that vault, your intention will gather power away from prying eyes. Take a moment to appreciate the stillness around your desire now, like a seed planted in fertile soil, hidden but full of life. Sacred gratitude rituals. If intention is the seed, gratitude is the sunlight and water that nourishes its growth. Practicing gratitude is a cornerstone of manifestation, and when done in silence, it becomes a sacred ritual. Begin each day, or end each night, by entering a moment of thankful stillness. This could be as simple as closing your eyes upon waking and silently saying, "Thank you for the breath in your lungs and the opportunities of a new day." Or perhaps each evening you light a small candle and quietly reflect on 3 things you are grateful for, letting the feeling of appreciation wash over your heart. In these rituals, no one else is present, no social media post is made. It's just you and the spirit of gratitude communing in peace. Feel how powerful this can be. Gratitude expressed without anyone to impress becomes incredibly pure. You are not performing thanks, you are truly living it. In the privacy of your sacred space, you might kneel or bow your head, or bring your hands to your heart. Any gesture that signifies reverence for the blessings in your life. You could keep a secret gratitude journal, writing down blessings big and small, and tucking it away after each entry as if placing love letters in a drawer. Over time, that journal becomes a book of quiet miracles, a record of abundance already present. Each word in it carries a vibration of thanksgiving that amplifies the abundance around you. In essence, when we cultivate gratitude, we align ourselves with higher frequencies that attract more positivity and abundance. Family, chiraplus.com. As you give thanks in silence, you amplify your magnetism for more to be thankful for. It's been said that gratitude turns what we have into enough and more. In your case, gratitude performed in solitude turns what you have into plenty and what you desire into a forthcoming reality. By being sincerely grateful behind closed doors, you align yourself with the frequency of wealth in a humble, egoless way. You acknowledge the gifts of the universe without needing anyone else to validate them. This, in turn, invites the universe to shower you with more, because it senses you will treasure the gifts deeply rather than flaunt them superficially. Make your gratitude practice your own little ceremony. Perhaps each Sunday morning you take a silent walk in nature and internally thank each aspect of creation you notice, the trees, the birds, the sunlight on your skin, and thank the unseen goodness in your life as well. Perhaps at night you silently thank the day's events, even the challenges, for the lessons and growth they provided. Some people write gratitude notes and fold them into an envelope that stays on their altar or under their pillow, a quiet dialogue of thanks with the universe. What matters is not how you do it, but the heartfelt emotion behind it. In these moments, you are like a monk at prayer, radiating appreciation into the cosmos. Not a single soul may know of your practice, yet those positive vibrations will emanate from you, subtly blessing your environment. People around you might notice a serene glow about you, or wonder at your consistent optimism, but they won't necessarily know why. It's because your cup is always being filled from within by gratitude's sacred flow. In a way, gratitude is like sweet honey. Its golden energy naturally attracts more goodness, just as nectar beckons bees. The more sincere thanks you pour out, the more life wants to give you reasons to say, thank you. Right now, allow yourself to call to mind a few things you are thankful for in this very moment. They might be as simple as having a warm bed, the taste of clean water, or the sound of rain outside your window. Maybe you think of a person who made you smile today, or even the fact that you have the time to listen to these words. Feel the warmth of appreciation in your chest as each blessing appears in your thoughts. In silence, say thank you for these things. Let that thankfulness expand, like a gentle glow spreading from your heart. Notice how, without a single word out loud, you have shifted the energy around you into something golden and hopeful. This quiet emotion of gratitude is sowing seeds for even more blessings to come. Wealth, concealment. As your intentions ripen and your gratitude draws blessings into your life, you will start to harvest the fruits of your silent work. Money, opportunities, successes. They begin to appear, quietly answering the call you sent out in secret. Now comes a delicate practice to hold your growing abundance with humility and discretion. In a world fixated on displays of success, choosing to keep your wealth low-key is a profound spiritual discipline. It means remembering that the value of your blessings lies in their essence, not in the applause they might elicit from others. Consider the image of a great treasure hidden in an unremarkable chest. Passers-by would have no idea of the gold that lies within, and so it remains safe, untroubled by envy or theft. In old folk tales, wise heroes often carried powerful talismans or knowledge disguised as ordinary things, a jewel sewn into a cloak, a sacred scroll wrapped in plain cloth, revealing them only at the right moment. Your achievements and accumulated wealth can be like those talismans, kept close, shared only with those who truly need to know or those you trust deeply. This doesn't mean you never celebrate your wins. It means you choose carefully how and with whom you celebrate. Perhaps you share the news of a promotion with your dearest friend over tea in your quiet garden, rather than announcing it to the world. Perhaps when a financial windfall comes, you upgrade your life in ways that bring you joy and comfort, but refrain from broadcasting it or dramatically changing your outward appearance to chase approval. You let your life improve softly, organically, without turning it into a performance. By concealing your wealth, you also protect your own mindset. You avoid the trap of seeking validation through material things. The car or home or jewelry you acquire is for your sincere enjoyment and use, not for show. This keeps your relationship with abundance clean and genuine. You remain the master of your wealth, not its servant, because you're not using it as a means to impress others. Additionally, staying discreet shields you from the negativity that public success can sometimes attract. Jealousy, unsolicited advice, doubt. These arrows cannot easily find a target if you do not put one up. You continue to move in silence, perhaps quietly helping family or donating to causes dear to you without fanfare. In doing so, your wealth becomes a source of goodness and comfort in the world, free of the distortion that ego and external influence can bring. There is a saying, work hard in silence, let success make the noise. In your case, even when success arrives, you choose to let it whisper rather than shout. You know that true wealth doesn't need to advertise itself. It simply is, like a mighty oak, standing silently in the forest, offering shade and bearing acorns, not needing a sign that says, "I am a mighty oak." Similarly, an apple tree heavy with fruit simply lets its boughs hang low. Anyone who comes near can see its abundance without a single announcement from the tree itself. When you embody this principle, you walk through life with a quiet confidence. You might be prospering greatly, but your spirit remains humble, anchored in the same sacred silence where this journey began. And because of that, your prosperity feels all the more satisfying. It is yours, sincerely earned and savoured in private moments of gratitude, rather than diluted by public display. By practicing the silent intention, sacred gratitude, and wealth concealment, you've learned the art of manifesting without losing the magic to noise. These practices keep you grounded and aligned with your true purpose. You become a living paradox, visible to the world yet carrying an invisible aura of richness, vocal when needed, yet often silent about the things that matter most. You are quietly creating and receiving abundance every day. Pause here to appreciate what you've learned. You have become someone who holds intentions in a sacred vault, who whispers gratitude to the universe each day, who cherishes wealth without boasting. Already, you are walking the path of quiet power. See how far you've come in silence. Your energy is stable and your heart is full, and greater mysteries are ready to unfold. As we continue, we will explore even more subtle techniques, advanced ways to work with this silent power. But for now, take comfort in how much you've already grown. In the silence of your own practices, you have begun to move mountains. Part 3. Advanced techniques. You have learned to tend your dreams in silence and practice the quiet rituals of creation. Now, we venture into subtler realms, advanced techniques that further enhance your manifesting power. These methods are like the master strokes of a painter or the secret chords of a musician, barely perceptible to others but deeply impactful. They require finesse and trust in the unseen. Here, you become even more attuned to the invisible currents of energy that govern abundance. You learn how to attract wealth effortlessly through your mere presence, and how to take meaningful action without drawing attention, in essence to move as the wise do, silently, effectively, and in harmony with the flow of life. Silent money magnet. By now, through your practice of intention and gratitude, you have begun to radiate a certain quiet confidence. This confidence, combined with your clarity of purpose, has an energetic frequency, a silent signal you broadcast to the universe. In advanced manifestation, that signal becomes like a magnet for wealth and opportunity. You transform into a silent money magnet, drawing prosperity toward you without a word spoken. Imagine walking through the world as if surrounded by a gentle gravitational field that pulls goodness into your orbit. You aren't chasing after wealth desperately. Instead, your inner alignment causes wealth to drift toward you as naturally as iron filings gathering to a magnet. The sun does not shout to hold the planets in orbit. Its massive gravity quietly keeps them circling in harmony. In your life, your inner sun-like certainty and positivity can hold many wonderful things in orbit around you. This phenomenon often starts to happen when you are deeply aligned with your intentions and you hold them privately. Because you are not dissipating your energy through worry or chatter, all of that focus becomes a beacon. People around you might start to offer help or resources unexpectedly. Perhaps a colleague mentions a job opening that's perfect for you without you even asking, or a friend gifts you something you'd been quietly wishing for. Maybe you find yourself in the right place at the right time, stumbling upon a profitable idea or a deal, almost as if by serendipity. These are not mere coincidences. They are responses to the silent call your energy is sending out. Your inner state has made you magnetic. Think back. Can you remember a time when something you needed seemed to fall into place without you forcing it? Perhaps you were thinking of an old friend and they suddenly called, or you quietly hoped for extra income and an unexpected opportunity arose. Those moments were your silent magnetism at work. Now that you cultivate it consciously, such occurrences may become more frequent. It's not magic or luck, it's you aligning so well with your desires that the universe responds eagerly. There's a subtle shift in advanced practice. You no longer feel anxious about how things will come to you. You carry an assurance, a calm knowing that what you need will find its way. This serene belief in your own magnetism actually strengthens it. Think of a flower exuding a sweet fragrance at night. It does nothing loud or forceful, yet moths and bees find their way to it, drawn by its essence. In the same way, your life, lived in alignment and quiet positivity, emits a scent that attracts the people, ideas, and money that resonate with your purpose. You might not see the wind, but you can observe how it carries seeds to fertile ground. So too, you might not always see the direct line of cause and effect, but your silent intentions are carried out into the world on unseen currents, planting seeds that grow into opportunities. To enhance this silent magnetism, continue to cultivate positive expectations in your solitude. Each morning, in the silence of your mind, affirm to yourself that you are open and ready to receive abundance from any direction. Do this with a light heart, without strain, like making a gentle wish. Then go about your day attentive and receptive. Being a money magnet doesn't mean you sit idle. It means you move through your day with your eyes and ears open, trusting that life is conspiring in your favor. Because you aren't shouting your desires, you've sharpened your ability to listen and notice. Because you aren't shouting, you pick up on subtle cues and nudges that others might miss. You may get a quiet hunch to visit a certain place or call someone, and that intuition leads to a fortunate outcome. Honor those quiet impulses. They are the compass of your magnetism in action. The universe often speaks softly, and you, who practice silence, are now primed to hear it. Invisible action. In the realm of silent abundance, not all action is visible, and not all that is visible counts as true action. This advanced principle teaches that some of the most powerful moves you make will leave no outward trace, at least not at first. Invisible actions are those efforts and choices that no one sees or applauds, yet they set immense forces into motion. While others might equate busyness with progress, you have learned that being effective is more important than being seen. An invisible action could be the decision to forgive someone in your heart, thereby freeing yourself from a burden and changing the course of your relationships. It could be spending an extra hour at night quietly learning a new skill or researching an opportunity while the world sleeps. It could be the discipline of meditation that you uphold daily, subtly sharpening your mind and spirit in ways that later manifest as luck or uncanny timing. Consider how a tree grows. Each day it silently extends its roots deeper into the soil. No one witnesses this subterranean labor, but it is this invisible action that allows the tree to stand tall and weather storms. Similarly, every quiet effort you make, every study session no one knows about, every prayer you utter alone, every plan you draft in your private journal, is like a root growing stronger. Eventually, these unseen efforts yield visible fruits: a promotion, a successful project, a new income stream, a solved problem. People on the outside might marvel at how you achieved it suddenly, but you will know it was the result of steady, invisible work. Many success stories have untold chapters of quiet effort. Think of the artist who spends countless midnight hours honing her craft when no one is watching, then one day exhibits a masterpiece that astounds the world. Or the entrepreneur who tinkers in his garage in secrecy and later unveils an invention that changes lives. Their public triumphs were born from invisible actions, much like the ones you are taking now. Invisible action also means acting without attachment to recognition. It is doing what needs to be done for the sake of your goal or the good of others, rather than for praise. You may help someone anonymously or make a wise financial choice quietly. You may practice your art or your business strategies behind closed doors until they are refined to perfection, unveiling them only when they are ready to shine. By keeping your actions under the radar, you reduce interference and pressure. The work remains a joy and a meditation, not a performance. This doesn't mean you hide out of fear. It means you act with strategic privacy, like a moon hidden by day. steadily moving in its orbit until night falls and its presence is revealed. Another aspect of invisible action is leveraging the power of thought and belief, what some might call prayer, spell work, or visualization, which you've already been doing. This is action on the unseen plane. When you vividly imagine a goal achieved or send a silent blessing to someone, you are taking real action in consciousness. Advanced practitioners of manifestation know that consistent mental rehearsal or spiritual practice can influence outcomes profoundly. These internal actions might be invisible to any observer, but they create ripples in the fabric of reality that eventually manifest as tangible results. Trusting this process requires faith. You must believe in the efficacy of what you're doing, even when there's no immediate proof. And indeed, that faith is what we will delve into next. Embrace the knowledge that you can accomplish great things discreetly. You move through life like water flowing under the surface, shaping the land above in due time. Each silent choice, each unseen effort, each patient waiting for the right moment, they all form the undercurrent of your success. Paired with the magnetic presence you've developed, your invisible actions ensure that when you do make an appearance, it's impactful and meaningful. The still current flowing with the unseen, there is a power deeper than effort, deeper even than silence itself, a still current that flows beneath all things. Once you begin to trust invisible action and cultivate magnetic presence, you are invited into this even subtler dimension of manifesting. The still current is not something you control. It is something you surrender to, a force that carries you toward your destiny, if only you can remain still enough to feel it. This stillness is not passivity. It is heightened awareness. It is receptivity, sharpened to the point of spiritual precision. You become like a leaf floating effortlessly down a stream, adjusting its path not by force but by yielding. In the world, we are often taught to push, to plan, to plot and pursue. But the still current whispers a different message. Let yourself be carried. Let us explore what it means to live in tune with this subtle power, to no longer swim against the river of life, but to become one with its intelligent flow, listening for the subtle yes. Alignment with the still current begins with awareness, not awareness of your thoughts or your plans, but of the space beneath those things. It begins when you start noticing how your body feels when something is right. It begins when you start trusting those tiny yeses and nos that arise before logic even speaks. The still current speaks softly, through tingles in the skin, warmth in the chest, a moment of spaciousness that opens when something aligns with your path. Maybe you've felt this before. You were about to say yes to something, but your stomach clenched. Or you walked into a room and felt an immediate calm, or a subtle urge to leave. These are your inner instruments detecting the current. Advanced manifestation is not only about setting intentions and taking invisible action. It is also about becoming a vessel sensitive enough to notice when the river shifts. Begin practicing the art of microsensing. When you encounter decisions, big or small, pause and ask not only what do I think, but what do I feel in the deepest part of my body? Is there a slight lift or a slight constriction, a warm expansion or a tight resistance? These are not coincidences. They are the signals of the still current. Learn to trust them, the power of non-doing. In Western thought, we often define power as what we do. In silent abundance, power is also what we don't do. There are moments when the most potent act is restraint, when saying nothing achieves more than any argument could, when delaying an action causes the right opportunity to reveal itself more perfectly. This is the wisdom of the Tao, of non-action that moves mountains. When you live by the still current, you learn to distinguish between effort that is aligned and effort that is compensating for a lack of trust. Imagine two farmers. One plants his seeds and waters them regularly. Then he paces the field daily, digging them up to check for progress, exhausting himself with worry. The other plants her seeds, waters with care, and then sits under a tree listening to the wind, trusting the soil. Which of them is truly aligned with abundance? Practice non-doing, not as laziness, but as potent patience. Learn to wait with grace, to step aside and allow, to let the world meet you halfway. Just as the moon does not rush to become full, so too you allow your manifestations to ripen in their own time. Intuitive drift and inspired detours. Sometimes living in the still current will take you places you didn't expect, even places that seem unrelated to your goal. You may be drawn to call someone out of the blue, or to stop by a store you hadn't planned to visit, or to read a book that feels oddly timely. These detours are not random. The current often leads us to outcomes through the scenic route. In these moments, trust your intuitive drift. Trust the whisper that nudges you towards something for no logical reason. When you follow that call, even when it makes no immediate sense, you affirm to the universe, I am listening. That book might contain one sentence that shifts your mindset. That unexpected phone call may open a new door. That walk through the park might allow your subconscious to deliver a needed insight. Allow your life to become more fluid. Set your compass, your clear intention, but let the winds and waves of inspiration guide the ship. If you feel off course, gently return to your inner vault. Reconnect with your why, but never resist the detours. They are often the fastest way forward. Sacred timing and the art of arrival. Another lesson of the still current is that everything happens on time. When you live in silent alignment, you start to see that there are no delays, only divine preparations. If something you want has not yet come to you, it is not denial. It is orchestration. Sometimes life must rearrange 1,000 moving parts before the opportunity is ready. Or perhaps you are still growing into the version of yourself that can hold it fully. Just as fruit cannot be picked before it is ripe, your dreams have a sacred timeline, and that timeline is wise beyond your understanding. What is yours will not miss you. You do not need to shout to be heard or run to catch it. You need only to remain ready. Think of a flower blooming in the desert. For months it waits under the sand, patient, invisible. Then one soft rain comes and, suddenly, bloom, a radiant, unstoppable emergence. Trust that your rain will come, and when it does, all the waiting will make sense. Quiet miracles and the law of grace. There is one more truth you begin to notice when living in the still current. Sometimes abundance arrives not because you earned it, but simply because you allowed it. This is the law of grace. It says that you are worthy not because of what you've done, but because of what you are, a receiver, a soul, a vessel for the good that wishes to come through you. Sometimes the current carries you into blessings you never asked for, a kindness you didn't expect. A door you didn't know existed suddenly swinging open. These are quiet miracles, the unexpected alignments, the unexplainable ease. You didn't push or plan for them. You simply stayed open, and because of that, life flowed through you with generosity. Begin to expect these miracles, not with arrogance, but with serene trust. Whisper to yourself, I am open to unexpected good. Say it again and again, like a lullaby for your soul, and then release. When grace finds you, welcome it with humility. Give thanks in silence. Let your heart become a temple where joy can rest. The still current does not announce itself. It requires no rituals, no noise, no performance. It waits quietly for you to notice it. And now you have. You have learned to tune in, to surrender, to follow. You have learned that sometimes the greatest movement happens not when you push, but when you float. That alignment can carry you further than struggle ever could. This is the secret within the secret, the current beneath the surface of silent abundance. You are not just a dreamer now. You are a vessel of sacred flow. Let yourself be carried. Take a moment to acknowledge the subtle skills you now wield. You have learned to attract rather than chase. You move through life like a quiet force of nature, steady and sure. You take meaningful steps without fanfare, trusting that the universe notices even when people do not. These advanced techniques hum in your being now, preparing you for the final lessons of trust. After all this silent work, you may encounter tests of your conviction. When results are not instantly visible, doubt can whisper in the silence. How do you maintain unwavering faith in your path? How do you banish those whispers of uncertainty? In our next section, we turn to the dance between faith and doubt, and how to anchor yourself in trust, even when the world is quiet around you. Part 4. Faith and Doubt. Every journey into the unseen tests our faith. When you are quietly cultivating your dreams, there may be days when nothing seems to be happening. In the silence, doubt can start to whisper, is this really working? Are my efforts in vain? This is a natural part of the process. Even the most devoted soul can feel uncertainty when results are not immediately visible. Faith and doubt dance together on the path of silent abundance, and the key is to not let doubt lead the dance. In this section, we will explore how to overcome those shadows of doubt and strengthen the bright flame of faith that guides you. You will learn ways to anchor yourself when storms of uncertainty arise, ensuring that your quiet journey remains steady and true. Overcoming doubt. Consider this. A farmer plants a bamboo seed and diligently waters it every day. For an entire year, nothing sprouts from the ground. A second year passes, then a third, and still no sign of growth. Neighbours begin to question why the farmer wastes effort on barren soil. But the farmer remains patient and steadfast. In the 5th year, suddenly, a tender shoot pushes up into the light. Then, almost miraculously, the bamboo stalk soars to dozens of feet in just a few weeks. All those years when nothing seemed to happen, the bamboo was growing an extensive root system underground, preparing for its rapid ascent. Your dreams in silence are like that bamboo. You may not see evidence of progress at first, but immense growth can be happening beneath the surface of reality. When doubt creeps in, remember the bamboo's roots. Know that invisible progress is still progress. To overcome doubt, sometimes you must simply outlast it. Doubt is often loudest just before a breakthrough, like the darkest hour before dawn. There's a classic tale of a gold miner who dug and dug without result, and finally gave up, only for the next person to strike a massive gold vein mere inches beyond where he stopped. How bitterly he regretted not persisting a little longer. We don't want to leave our fortunes buried due to a moment of doubt. Think of this when you find yourself impatient, when you feel the nagging questions rise. Why hasn't it happened yet? Am I fooling myself? Acknowledge them, but do not let them derail you. Gently remind yourself of why you started on this path. Reflect on any subtle signs of progress. Perhaps your mindset has become calmer or more positive. Perhaps small opportunities are coming where there were none, or you feel a growing intuition that things are aligning. These are sprouts of evidence that your silent work is taking effect. Celebrate these small indicators quietly in your heart. It can also help to recall past experiences where patience paid off. Almost everyone has a story. Maybe you once waited for a better job, or saved slowly for something meaningful, and eventually it came to fruition. Draw strength from those memories. Tell yourself, I have seen good things take time before. Just because I don't see it yet doesn't mean it's not on its way. In these moments, affirmations can be powerful. You might silently repeat, everything is unfolding in perfect timing, even if I cannot see it now. Let this be a soothing mantra when doubt buzzes around like pesky mosquitoes. Each repetition is like a gentle breeze that blows the mosquitoes away. With every soft utterance of trust, you weaken doubt's hold. Another strategy is to limit exposure to outside skepticism. Throughout your journey, you've learned the value of keeping your plans protected. Similarly, when your faith feels fragile, it's wise to shelter it from others' opinions. During vulnerable moments, you might avoid conversations with people who habitually doubt or criticize your endeavors. Protect your budding faith from those who might unintentionally trample it. Instead, seek the company or words of those who uplift and encourage, even if that company is found in a book or a recorded message rather than in person. There's nothing wrong with creating a bubble of belief for yourself until your faith is strong enough to withstand outside pressures. Remember, you're not isolating out of fear. You're nurturing your confidence, much like shielding a young plant until it's hardy. You have seen that silence doesn't just apply to keeping your desires secret. It can also mean quietly ignoring the voices of doubt, whether from within or without, and continuing on your way. When doubt rears up, imagine simply turning the volume knob of the world's noise to mute. Come back to your breath, to the feeling of your dream held securely in that inner vault, and know that under the soil, roots are growing. Faith anchor practice. Just as a ship lowers an anchor to stay steady in rough waters, you too can lower an anchor for your faith. An anchor practice is a personal ritual or object that grounds you back into trust when you feel yourself drifting into doubt. This can take many forms. The important part is that it resonates deeply with you. One powerful approach is visualization. Close your eyes and imagine a sturdy golden anchor attached to your heart. When you inhale, see this anchor descend from you, plunging down into the earth until it catches onto bedrock. Feel the solid, reassuring tug of it, connecting you to something immovable and ancient. Some imagine this anchor is held by the divine itself at the ocean floor, a promise from the universe that you will not drift far. The golden chain linking your heart to the anchor shines with trust. Say to yourself, no matter how the winds of doubt blow, I am held firm. Breathe slowly and picture any stormy waves on the ocean of your mind calming around you, unable to toss you as long as this anchor holds. Stay with this image until you feel a peace return. That is the power of your faith reasserting itself. You might also choose a physical token as your faith anchor. It could be a small stone, a piece of jewelry, or a talisman that you associate with unwavering belief. Infuse it with meaning. Perhaps you hold it during meditation or prayer, telling yourself that as long as this item is with you, it represents your commitment to your vision. Then, on a difficult day, when doubt knots your stomach, you can grasp this object and remember, I chose hope. I chose to believe. The object becomes a conduit for your own past resolve, feeding it back to you when you need it most. If you haven't already, you may decide to choose such an object in your real life, something little you can carry or wear that reminds you of the vow you've made to trust yourself. Each time your eyes or fingers find it, that anchor will silently reinforce your strength. Another anchor could be a daily sacred routine that centers you. For example, lighting a candle each morning and dedicating its flame to your highest intention can serve as a reminder that your job is to keep the flame of faith burning while the universe handles the rest. Or you might write an encouraging letter to your future self and tuck it away to be opened when you feel unsure. Reading your own words of conviction can reignite your trust. Ultimately, the practice can be simple or elaborate as long as it moors you to the feeling of trust. When you employ your faith anchor, really allow yourself to feel the relief of giving your worries over to something greater, be it God, the universe, or the deeper wisdom of life. Feel in your bones that you are supported and guided, even if you can't see how. Just as stars continue to shine behind the veil of night clouds, understand that guidance and progress are still there, even when momentarily obscured. As you strengthen your faith, you'll notice doubt shrinking back into the shadows where it belongs. It may never disappear entirely, and that's all right, but it will no longer control you. You will carry on watering your proverbial bamboo seed with calm assurance that at the right time, in the right way, it will break through and flourish. With faith as your constant companion, the quiet of your journey becomes not a void, but a sanctuary of possibility. In this state of trust, you are free to continue your silent work with a light heart. You have become resilient in your faith. Doubt may knock, but you know how to keep your door closed to it. You carry an anchor of trust wherever you go. Feel how strong you stand now, rooted like bamboo, patient and unshakable. Your heart is light because it is not weighed down by worry anymore. This inner fortitude will guide you as you bring all these pieces together. All that remains is to learn how to integrate everything you've gained, to weave silence, practice, mastery, faith, and abundance into the fabric of your everyday life and legacy. Part 5. Integration and Mastery. At last we arrive at the stage of integrating everything you've learned and mastering the art of silent abundance in everyday life. This is not an end, but rather a beginning of a new way of being. You have gathered the core principles, practiced the quiet rituals, applied advanced techniques, and fortified your faith. Now it's time to weave all of these into the fabric of your daily existence, so that abundance flows through you as naturally as breath. In this final part, we will explore how to live as a silent master of abundance, protecting and expanding your energy, your energetic vessel, infusing each day with intention and grace, and ultimately creating a legacy that whispers of wisdom to those who follow. Energetic vessels. Throughout this journey, you have been enlarging your capacity to receive and hold abundance. Think of yourself as a vessel for the energy of prosperity and blessings. In the beginning, you might have been like a small cup, able to hold only a little good before overflowing or feeling overwhelmed. But with each practice of silence, with each test of faith, you have grown that cup into a bowl, and that bowl into a basin. This is the concept of energetic vessels. The more you strengthen your spirit and align with abundance, the more abundance you can comfortably contain. Just as a 60-watt light bulb cannot safely channel 1,000 watts of electricity without shattering, an unprepared mind cannot handle sudden vast success. But you have been preparing yourself all along. Every moment of patience, every instant you chose to trust instead of fear, has tempered and expanded your vessel. But with each practice of silence, with each quiet strengthening of your faith and focus, your vessel has grown. You might imagine that small cup becoming a sturdy bowl, and that bowl becoming a deep cauldron able to hold a great volume of life's richness. Just as a potter fires clay to make it strong, your challenges and discipline have fired your spirit to make it resilient. Every moment of perseverance has widened your capacity. Now, imagine your energy body or aura as a great chalice. It is sturdy, shining, and vast. It can receive endlessly without spilling or cracking. Continue to care for this vessel. That means maintaining your boundaries, protecting against negative influences as you did with energy protection, and also continuing to nourish yourself with silence and positive input. In the same way, a larger vessel must be handled with care to avoid cracks. You treat yourself with gentle respect, getting enough rest, seeking out inspiration, and retreating to your sanctuaries when needed. You might find that you can handle challenges with more calm now, and accept blessings with more gratitude, where once either might have unsettled you. This is a sign that your capacity has grown. In practical terms, allow yourself to welcome bigger opportunities than before. If a very large dream comes knocking, don't shy away thinking it's too much for you. Recognize that the work you've done has readied you for greater things. Affirm to yourself, I have become a worthy vessel for all the abundance meant for me. Carry this knowing quietly. It will give you the confidence to embrace growth when it arrives. Daily integration. Mastery is not a peak to reach and then rest upon. It is a continual practice, a daily devotion. To truly embody silent abundance, make its principles a natural part of your routine. This doesn't mean rigidly scheduling spiritual practices, but rather gently interspersing moments of mindful silence and intention throughout your day. To truly embody silent abundance, you blend its principles seamlessly into ordinary activities. For example, in the morning before the rush begins, you might take a brief moment of stillness, perhaps while sipping your tea or coffee, to set a silent intention for the day. It could be as simple as, today, I will remain calm and open to good things, held quietly in your mind. As you move through work or chores, practice the art of quiet focus. Let your actions speak for you. Work diligently and thoroughly, even if no one is watching, embodying invisible action as a way of life. If colleagues or friends discuss their plans and achievements, you can smile and congratulate them, but you remain discerning about when and if to share your own. You have nothing to prove. Your satisfaction comes from within now. For example, If someone at work asks about your long-term goals or a project you've been developing privately, you might share a few thoughtful words but keep the deepest details to yourself. You simply express that you're working on things that matter to you without indulging the urge to announce every ambition. You feel no need to prove yourself or compete. You can let your future results speak when the time comes. Similarly, when a challenge arises during the day, perhaps an unexpected problem or a difficult conversation, you instinctively take a quiet moment to gather yourself. Maybe you excuse yourself to the restroom or simply pause your typing to breathe. In that brief silence, you realign with your core of calm. Thus, integrating is often invisible to others. It's in the slight delay before you respond, the gentle smile instead of irritation, the choice to take an evening walk alone instead of venting to others. Bit by bit, you've rewoven your life into one of deliberate grace. Make use of the small pauses that naturally occur in a day. Waiting in line, sitting in traffic, or walking to your next destination. These are opportunities to return to your inner sanctuary for a breath or two, instead of pulling out your phone or letting anxiety chatter in your mind. You might say a quiet affirmation, observe your surroundings with gratitude, or simply enjoy the silence of that moment. In doing so, you keep your connection to the sacred silent strong regardless of external circumstances. Integrating also means allowing joy and play into your practice. Silence and secrecy are not meant to feel heavy or lonely. They are empowering and even light-hearted. You might challenge yourself in small, fun ways. Perhaps manifest something minor just to see it happen, like silently intending that a friend invites you to lunch and watching it occur. Or keep a magic journal where you jot down little synchronicities and successes that come from your silent work. These playful integrations reinforce your trust and remind you that this is a living, delightful process. You can smile to yourself when a parking spot opens at just the right time, or when you find exactly the information you quietly asked the universe for. These are little nods from life that you're in the flow. By living each day in this manner, you create a steady rhythm of abundance. Some days will be more outwardly active, some more inward, but in each you carry the torch of your intention quietly and persistently. Over time, those around you may notice a difference. They might comment on how peaceful, focused, or lucky you seem. They might see that while others scramble or boast, you move with a calm certainty, and things just seem to work out for you. In those moments, you simply smile, knowing that the silence you keep is your strength. Suppose one afternoon at work someone asks how you always manage to handle things so well. Perhaps they notice you never panic and rarely seek credit. You might give a soft chuckle and a modest reply like, "I try to stay focused and take my time." You share no further detail, but in your heart you know the secret. You have made your life a kind of meditation, each task a prayer, each pause a renewal. Or imagine an evening when loved ones are arguing or chaos erupts. You become an island of calm, offering few words but emanating understanding. This too is integration. You are living the change, not preaching it, and that alone influences others. By living each day in this manner, you create a steady rhythm of abundance. Your day itself becomes a moving meditation. Perhaps you wake with gratitude, work with quiet focus, share genuine presence with loved ones, and end the night in peaceful reflection. You might whisper affirmations while washing your hands or silently bless your meal before eating. Each act, though ordinary, becomes charged with the energy of everything you've learned. You find that even mundane routines shine with a new significance. You carry that sense of sacredness with you, and it makes the ordinary shine. Over time, those around you notice a difference. They might comment on how peaceful or lucky you seem, how you're always in the right place at the right time. Your friends might say, "There's just something about you lately, a calmness." Your family might note that you handle setbacks with unusual grace. They might not know what changed, but they feel it, and indeed, you have changed. You are embodying silent abundance in every step. If someone asks for your secret, you may simply say with a wink, "A little patience, a little faith," and leave it at that. Your contentment and confidence require no external validation now. Each morning flows into each night gently, and your life unfolds like a quiet poem. This is integration and mastery, not a climactic endpoint, but a beautiful, ongoing dance of living your truth in each moment. Legacy transmission. The highest mastery of any art is the ability to pass it on, not necessarily through direct teaching, but through embodying it so fully that others learn by your example. Your journey into silent abundance will inevitably touch the lives of people around you. Perhaps without you even realizing it, you have been radiating a quiet influence. Loved ones might feel more at peace in your presence. Maybe a friend who always gossiped with you notices you don't engage in that anymore, and they too begin to speak more kindly or hold their tongue. Your children, if you have any, observe how you handle challenges with grace and how you celebrate blessings modestly, and in time they adopt those behaviors naturally. Imagine, years from now, a curious grandchild or a young colleague asking you the secret to your calm success. You might smile kindly and share a simple story or piece of advice. Perhaps you talk about a bamboo seed that grows roots, or the power of a quiet prayer. In that moment, you are planting a seed in their heart, just as this journey planted one in yours. You don't need them to understand it fully right away. You trust that in time they too will nurture it and discover their own silent strength. If you choose, you can deliberately and gently share this wisdom. You might mentor someone who is struggling with the noise of life, showing them how to create a personal sanctuary of silence. You might tell the story of your bamboo plant to a colleague who is impatient for results. Or you might simply gift someone a beautiful blank notebook with a note about the power of writing dreams quietly, planting a seed in their mind. There's a beautiful humility in how you transmit your legacy. You do not force these ideas on anyone, but when you sense openness, you whisper the secrets that once transformed you, and then step back and let them discover on their own. Beyond teaching others directly, consider the legacy of abundance itself that you are building. Because you have practiced wealth concealment and humble generosity, perhaps you have amassed savings or resources that can support your family or community in the future. You might quietly fund a cause that matters to you or ensure your loved ones are provided for, without drawing attention to your contributions. These acts become part of the tapestry of goodness you leave behind, a legacy of love and provision done silently, which may inspire others to give in their own way. Ultimately, your legacy is the energy you leave in every space you've been. After mastering silent abundance, you leave behind an aura of calm prosperity wherever you go. People might not pinpoint it, but they will remember that in your presence they felt hopeful, safe, or inspired. In this way, the spirit of silent abundance continues beyond your individual life, echoing softly in the lives of others. From the first tentative step into sacred silence to this present moment of confident peace, you have undergone a profound transformation. Think of all that you have accomplished internally. You learned to become still and listen to your inner voice. You found security in solitude. You built shields of light around your dreams to protect them from doubt. You nurtured your goals with gratitude each day. You mastered the art of moving through life quietly powerful, drawing in good things, acting with wisdom, holding your faith steady. These are no small feats. They mark the journey of someone who has discovered their own depth. Before we end, consider one final parable, a story to illuminate the journey you've taken. Once, in a quiet kingdom, there lived a young prince who desperately sought the secret of true prosperity. He had read many books and consulted loud advisers at court, but their counsel brought him no peace. The more the advisers shouted about taxes, wars, and grand projects, the more the prince felt something was missing. Despite the noise of court, his treasury dwindled and his people grew anxious. The prince realized that wisdom might not be found in the clamor of the palace after all. News reached him of a sage who dwelt in the mountains, a sage who was said to possess a mystical, silent abundance that made his life brim with blessings without a word spoken. Determined, the prince left his palace to find this wise man and learn from him. He travelled through dense forests and crossed wide rivers, facing days of lonely travel where he questioned if this sage even existed. At times, doubt nagged at him, but he carried on, remembering the uneasy emptiness in the palace that drove him onward. After a long trek, the prince found the sage tending a simple garden outside a humble cottage. The sage welcomed the prince with a warm smile, but said nothing. Days passed as the prince stayed with the sage, yet the sage hardly spoke at all. Instead, they would rise with the sun and sit in tranquil meditation at dawn. They worked side by side, pulling weeds or carrying water in calm focus. In the evenings, they offered quiet thanks for their meagre meal of bread and vegetables. Curiously, although the sage spoke very little, the prince felt he was learning more than ever. One morning, the sage handed the prince a cup made of delicate porcelain. He pointed to a crack in its side and finally broke his silence. "This cup is like the mind of someone who speaks of his dreams too soon. The precious water, his dream's energy, leaks out." The prince remembered how he used to boast of his grand plans in the court, only to feel them evaporate later. He nodded in understanding. From then on, he kept his aspirations to himself, holding them gently in his heart as they grew stronger and more defined each day. Another day, the sage and the prince climbed a hill to watch the sunrise. The sage traced the outline of the sun with his finger as it emerged, then traced a small seedling sprouting from the soil nearby. "Great things incubate in quiet darkness," he said softly. The prince realized the sage was teaching him about patience and faith, just like the bamboo that grows roots for years beneath the ground. He recalled how often he had grown frustrated when results didn't show immediately, and how he nearly abandoned some of his best ideas. Up on that hill, as the world slowly filled with light, the prince swore to nurture his goals faithfully, even when he couldn't see progress, trusting that growth was happening where eyes couldn't see. On their last evening together, the sage lit a single candle and placed it before the prince. The flame flickered silently, illuminating their small room. "Gratitude," the sage said, finally breaking the silence as he gestured to the candle. Over the next hour, without another word, the sage occasionally lit another candle from the first flame and set it around the room until dozens of candles glowed. He then motioned for the prince to look. The once dim cottage now danced with warm light. "Each candle is a thank you," the sage explained gently. "The more you give thanks, the more light you have to see the riches around you." The prince's eyes glistened, for he understood, by quietly appreciating each blessing, no matter how small, he had been multiplying the light of abundance in his life. The cottage, though filled with simple things, felt as splendid as his gilded palace. When it came time for the prince to return to his kingdom, the sage gave him a parting gift, a small, smooth stone. "This is your anchor," said the sage. "Whenever storms of doubt arrive, hold it, and remember the stillness here." The prince clasped the stone and felt a comforting weight, as if all the mountain's steadiness now rested in his palm. He left the sage's cottage with silence in his steps and wisdom in his heart. Years later, that young prince became a great king. People marveled at the peace and prosperity that flourished in his land. His subjects noticed that their king was different. He listened more than he spoke. He worked diligently behind the scenes, and he never boasted of his victories or wealth. Yet the kingdom thrived. Crops yielded abundantly, the treasury quietly grew, and neighboring rulers sought the secret to his success. The king would only smile and say, "In silence, many miracles are born." In his private chambers at night, the king would sometimes take out a smooth stone and reflect on the garden, the sunrise, and the candlelight he had experienced in his youth. He ruled with a gentle hand and a heart full of gratitude, guiding his people to value the profound power of a life lived with intention, humility, and silent abundance. And so it was that the prince turned king passed the sage's lessons to his own children, not through loud decrees, but by living as an example of quiet strength and generosity. In time, the kingdom itself became as wise as its ruler, a realm where dreams were nurtured in secret until they blossomed, where acts of kindness were done without fanfare, and where the deepest wealth was felt rather than flaunted. The story of this silent, prosperous kingdom spread far and wide, inspiring others to seek their own silent abundance. And it all began with the simple, powerful practices that you too have now gathered on your journey. You are the prince in your own life story, having ventured into silence and returned with the treasure of wisdom. Now, like the wise king, you can live out these truths and quietly bless your own kingdom, whether that be your home, your family, or your community. In the silence, you can recall each treasure you have gathered on this journey. Sacred silence, the wellspring of power where everything begins in peace. Energy protection, the gentle shield keeping your dreams safe from doubt and disruption. Manifestation in solitude, the secret garden where your intentions take root and bloom without interference. Private sanctuaries, the personal havens, within and without, where your spirit rejuvenates and your creativity flows. Silent intention vault, the secure chamber of your heart, where your deepest desires gain strength in secrecy. Sacred gratitude rituals, the daily act of thanks that lights your path and attracts ever more blessings. Wealth concealment, the wisdom of keeping your prosperity humble and protected, growing it without needless display. Silent money magnet, the aura of confidence and alignment that draws opportunities and wealth to you quietly. Invisible action, the behind-the-scenes work and steadfast patience that build the foundation of your success. Overcoming doubt, the unwavering faith that all good things are unfolding, even when you cannot yet see them. Faith anchor practice, the enduring ritual or symbol that holds you steady through any storm. Daily integration, the weaving of all these principles into each moment of your life, making the ordinary shine. Legacy transmission, the subtle way you will inspire and provide for others through the life you live and the energy you leave behind. Each of these pieces now lives in you, settling into a harmonious whole. You understand them not just with your mind, but with your soul. They will continue to guide you long after this meditation ends. Now, return once more to the image of the still night, the world holding its breath. But this time, you are not just a visitor in that sanctuary of quiet. You are a part of it. You stand under the same sky of silence. But now the stillness recognizes you as an old friend. The stars above shimmer in approval, as though reflecting the treasures sparkling in your soul. If you listen carefully, you might sense the gentle chorus of all the quiet victories you've achieved. Each intention set, each doubt overcome, each secret kindness, ringing like soft bells in the night air. Rest now in that certainty. As you settle into the quiet at the end of this journey, imagine the night embracing you like a soft blanket. Perhaps you see above you an expanse of stars, each one a silent wish shining its gentle light. Those wishes are yours, twinkling patiently until they become your reality. For now, there is nothing else you need to do, nothing to strive for. You've set everything in motion with your quiet intention. You can simply float in this peace like a boat on a calm midnight sea anchored by trust. Let the stillness cradle you. If sleep comes, welcome it. If inspiration glows within you, let it gently guide your next thought. All is well, dear one. In this sacred silence, you are whole and you are heard. Your life itself has become a silent sanctuary of abundance, a testament to the power of what is unseen and unsaid. In the gentle hush that follows now, you rest, knowing that all is well and all manner of things shall be well. Let this knowledge cradle you now. You may drift into sleep or carry on with your day, but the silence will always travel with you, a faithful companion. In this silence, you have found your power, and in this power, you find peace. Simply be in the quiet where you are complete.